Ask not what we all be can do for you. Ask what you can do for we all be.
Mrs. Hawkins, you there?
Yes, I'm listening now. What you say?
Yeah, I was talking. You said you had some cousins and relatives that you live with. They got lost in the fire that night.
Yes, We live right in this house together where I'm living and talking to you now. She perished in the fire.
What was her name?
Zia Rosiska Williams.
How old was she when she died?
Let's see. She was about 4 years old, 3 or 4 years older than me. And I graduated in I was born in 1919. And the fire was in, 1940.
1940, April 23rd.
And I was born November the 21st, 1919. And my birthday will be the 21st of this November. And I should be 92, yeah. I think
that's a blessing. Yeah, 92 years young.
I'm 91 now, so you have to kind of think to get your brains together when you get 91. I'll be 92 in November.
Yes, ma'am. That's a blessing, though. That really is a blessing.
So you have to get your brains together now. You just can't come up like I used to, abruptly, and get it out there to you.
You remember, what made y'all want to go to that dance that night? I mean, what was the big thing?
Well, I tell you, that was the year I was going to graduate.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was the first dance I had an opportunity to go to. And then some of my classmates got burned. That was the year I finished Brumfield High School. That's it. And some of my classmates got burned also, destroyed. And this first cousin of mine, we lived together in this house. But she had finished high school a couple of years, maybe about 3 or 4 years before me.
Was she a teacher or something like that? Was she teaching?
Beg pardon?
What was your cousin doing after she graduated from school?
My cousin? The one, she got burned. No, she wasn't. She was working at, what's his place name? It was, pretty finished clothes. Some factory came here, was on the street bit from where we are now. What's that place? I can't think of it right now. When you get up in age, the garment factory.
Okay.
That's what that place was. It was a garment factory down on Brennan Avenue. It was off from the railroad track. There, She was working there. She had graduated from Brumfield several years before that time.
What type of person was she? Like, how would you describe her personality-wise?
Tell me that again.
How would you describe her personality-wise? How was your cousin personality-wise?
How was she?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't get that. I don't hear too well.
I would say what type of person was she?
Oh, she was a very friendly person, and she had graduated from Brumfield High School. She finished college, but it wasn't too many jobs at that time here in Natchez. But she worked at this garment factory. Whoever came in and opened that place, and it was on Brennan Avenue, right off from where the railroad tracks was. If you've been to Natchez.
Yes, ma'am. And also, I had to ask you, how much was it to get in that night to the club?
Say, what was it?
Do you remember how much it was to get in? How much it cost to get into the club?
I don't know what I paid for that. It wasn't over $75 to $2. Might have been $2. I'm not sure about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Not sure about that.
Well, actually, how many people in your mind was at the club that night?
Beg pardon?
How many people were there that night? Was a lot of people there?
That place was full. It was full. It surely was. And the band was good. The music was good. And it was young children, high school children, there also. They had just graduated that year, and they were all there. It was a mixed thing. The older people and some of the younger adults, were there.
Was there any white folks there? Do you remember any white folks being there?
I don't remember any white people being there. It might have been, but I don't remember that. It wasn't anything but black people. It might have been, but I'm not sure.
What about
when they was there, the blacks was all different colors, from the darkest black to some of the lighter color, blacks.
Was it unusual? Was it unusual for black folks of different colors to mix together?
What's what?
Was it unusual for black folks of different colors to mix together like that?
No, indeed.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. It was something. No, it was young teenagers, a little over, because that's the year I graduated.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
And also, Walter Barnes, what type of band was it? I mean, was he very popular back then, I guess?
Oh, yes, he was a popular band player. That's why he was here. He was popular, played good music, real nice music.
And when you realized something was wrong, when did you realize something was wrong that night?
Well, let's see. It so happened, the young fellow I was dancing with, I don't even remember his name at that time. I was at the front of the building as you come in, and near a window, I was at the last window as you enter into the river where the fire was, on the right-hand side. And when the moss started falling, it wasn't the moss, the grass and stuff, it had gotten dried up. They had it decorated most beautifully. And I was at the window, this young man that I was dancing with. So we stopped dancing, and he went and broke the window and raised the window up, and that's how I got out real quick. And after I got out, he got me out, and I jumped out, and then he got out behind me. So that's the way it was. We didn't get through a door. He raised the window, and he put me out. That would be the first window to the right of the building as we went into the club.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it was full. It was the young people and the older people who were there. It was some club that sponsored that dance.
It was like a social club that sponsored the dance, you said?
Yes, it was a club, a group of people was in it, and they sponsored that.
Wow, so like your cousin wasn't lucky, right? She didn't get out. She didn't survive.
No, she didn't get out. She got them. In other words, she mostly smothered. So many people was there. The young ones, along with my age, and older. It was an older group that gave that. It was a barn dance. They weren't dressed in evening dresses like you do with some of the dances, They just had on casual clothes, and all.
What were you wearing? I bet you probably were stunning in your dress. What type of dress were you wearing? Can you remember?
Yes, I had on a suit dress, It was just a nice little dress, nice that you probably want to wear to church or to a party, something. Wasn't nothing elaborate like you can see some of them at these dances, like I have been to some. With all of the gaudy stuff, it wasn't one that dressed that way to me. They just was dressed with nice dresses, with long dresses and everything.
You still have that dress? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Beg pardon?
You still have that dress, or you got rid of it?
Yeah, they were really dressed for the affair, but different ones. You know how you go out to some be overly, some be just right, and some be beneath,
Yes, ma'am.
But everybody looked nice. They were clean and all.
And what type of dances were y'all doing back then? Like was it a jitterbug, or what type of dances? Like the Lindy Hop?
We waltz, we two-step.
Okay.
We waltz. And they did this swinging out, how you're dancing with people, and when the music get good, and you swing out and turn them around.
Yes, ma'am.
They did it all. Now, sometimes if they played a song, you know, that you can really just waltz by, then they would do the waltzing. They could do the one according to how the music was. That is really the kind of dance they would do. But it was nice.
Good. And how were y'all able to find your cousin? What did y'all do to find your cousin? Did you go to the funeral home or the hospital?
I didn't get burned at all.
Yes, ma'am.
The young man, and I haven't remembered that young fellow's name as yet, but we would dance. It was closer to the front door, and as you go in the door, the window that was on the right-hand side going in, that was the first window, you know, coming in on that side.
Yes, ma'am.
And he just went there and raised it up and helped me to get out, and I got out, and then he jumped out behind me, and other people started coming out that way. You see, because the fire started at the front door, you know, where that moss was. But somebody evidently had to have plucked a cigarette or something to start that fire.
Imagine, you think it was an accident or was done on purpose?
Beg pardon?
You think the fire was set on accident? Was it an accident or you think somebody did it on purpose? I
really don't know. I was real young then, but I don't think I have read about it in the papers and things. And I don't think it was. And then it might have been. And they were drinking. You know, it was old folks and young children, you know, like me, just finishing high school, wanted to go to the dance around my age.
So when did you find out about your cousin?
Beg pardon?
How did you find out about your cousin? Your cousin that died?
Well, we lived together.
Okay.
We lived together where I'm living now. And she went with her friends. She was a little older than I was. And she, you know, she had her friends and I had mine. But not in this friend of mine. She went to it, but she got out. We grew up together on the same street where I live on Minor Street, in the same block. But she got out.
Did you go to the club?
Well, she was able to get out because we had walked to the dance along, just she and I together. Okay. Now you ride. We would go now. At that time, you walked up there.
I'm actually like, was there a service for your cousin? Did y'all have a funeral service for her?
Oh yes.
Okay. What is like? I heard some things like somebody told me that the church didn't condone the dancing and the club. They said it was deaf music and.
You asked me. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
You asked me did we carry to church? Well, it was so many people dead. And the undertaker had so many people, they were just taking them to the cemetery and burying them. The family went with them now. Okay. I know my family. We went on to the cemetery, and I did too. You know, we didn't take them to church or anything, but we went on and carried them to the cemetery, and they were buried. The Watkins Street Cemetery. That's where my cousin was buried.
Was she buried in a mass grave, or was she buried in like a separate plot or a family plot?
No. We had a lot. I had a lot because my grandmother and her mother was already deceased, and she's buried out there in the plot where they were. No, we had a plot already. Watkins Street Cemetery. But they said they was throwing them in all the graves. That's what they say. But she was buried in a grave.
You said they also had a funeral service.
That's right, because I had some relatives. My mama's mother was dead out there, and we had a lot, and she was buried, you know, in a lot. You know how you...
Yes, ma'am.
Certain portions of land. Now, they might have been throwing them in the graves, now, like you say. I heard that, too.
But y'all did have a service for your cousin, right? You said y'all did y'all had a funeral service for your cousin?
No, we just carried on out there, and we met with her, you know, and put her in the grave.
And how was the time? What was your reaction? Because people told me they heard people crying and screaming all night.
Well, I imagine they were because I don't know about all night. Because when I got out of the fire, and my aunt had made it there after she heard about the fire, and then I came on home because I didn't get burned or nothing. So she brought me on home.
Was there a certain smell in the city? Did it smell real bad? I mean, it was a smell from people dying and getting burnt up in the city?
Now, I really don't know. Some of them really, they mostly smothered to death.
Okay.
You know, because the place was packed. It was packed. And they was pushing and shoving. And by me being one of the ones close to the front door at the first window to the front. And this young man that I was dancing with, we went over there, and he raised the window and got me out, and then he jumped out, and then other people started getting out of the window. It was just a blessing that we were close to that window.
Yes, man, it was a blessing.
All it could do was just raise it up and get out.
And like that night, they said 209 people were lost that night, and you said a lot of young people were lost. And I'm talking to you. And you became a productive citizen of society by becoming a great teacher.
That's right.
And I think about how many people in that fire could have done some productive things. There's a lot of professional people as well as young people that got lost that night. There's like a generation of people that got lost.
Oh, yeah. It was just a lot of people, different ones. Children, middle-aged people, and older ones. It was just a mixed thing. It was more of the older adult, there than it was, younger people like I was.
But look what you have done with your life. You was a high school graduate. You got a great education. You became a great educator, and also a lot of professional people, a lot of people that were the leaders of the community, perished in that fire.
Yes, that's right.
What type of effect was that on the community?
Big business. Was in big business. It was just a mixed thing. It was more of the older group that was there. And I've forgotten the name of this club. They is the one that was sponsoring this big dance. And it was more of the older people there than it was people of my age,
Yes,
I went because that was the year I was graduating from high school in 1940.
And you said you lost a lot of classmates that year, right, in that fire?
Yeah, I had some classmates to be, to die too there.
Even a favorite teacher of the students, I heard it was a teacher.
One of my teachers got burned. Oh, yeah, if he didn't get burned up, he smothered or something. Because so many people was in there, and it just took time for them to get. Lord, somebody trying to get me on the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sure is the truth, but it was a sad thing.
And how was the commencement? How was commencement for you all?
How was what?
How was the graduation ceremony?
Well, it was a sad occasion because we lost some of them. But we, had it. But we didn't have a little do thing, like we used to do, go on to a dance or something like that.
Right.
No, we didn't. We just had the graduation, and we all came on home.
Hey, I know you say you worked on the cemetery, too, the Walking Street Cemetery, where most of the people are buried.
Yeah, that's where they are.
And how is the cemetery today? Is it still in need of repairs or upkeep? I mean, what's going on with
it? Yes, it does. I'm one of the ones that, help the upkeep of it. I give certain amounts of donations sometimes. My friend, I don't work. I'll go out there with some of them sometimes. But we get some people, to go out there. And I have one lady, whenever she needs something, a regular one, I give her a donation to go out. And back in years, I had a man, he's dead now, that took care of the plots that I had out there, because I had two where my mother was buried. Her grave is out there, and my daddy, he's buried out there in that Watkins Street Cemetery and all. So I was paying, this man was named Mr. Ed White. He used to take care of the cemetery. And I would pay him, you know, each month when he'd go and cut the grass and keep it clean.
Man, like, has the city or the state of Mississippi ever stepped up to try to say we'll take care of the cemetery?
I didn't understand that.
Has the city of Natchez, I see they trying to make, I mean, like, they got
they're in the process of doing something about it, you know, trying to do, because, right, I'm still a part of the persons, you know, that kind of work. I don't go out there and cut. I'm old. I'm 91 years old. I'll be 92 in November.
Yes, ma'am.
But I heard you financially, so I support it.
Yes, ma'am. And
I have some people I know real well that go out there and clean the cemetery, cut the grass and everything. And I tell her whenever she needs the money, or if she needs something, come to me, and I'll, you know, give her some money to get what is needed, you know.
Yes, ma'am. I thank you for that. I just want to make a point about that people should try to support the upkeep of the historic cemetery in honor of that tragic event that happened on April 23rd, 1940. I want to ask you this, too. What was the white people's response in Natchez to the tragedy? How did they respond to it? What was their response at the time?
Well, I tell you what, I had just finished high school, and I don't know too much, you know, how they actually responded, but I'm sure some of them were sympathizing, you know, with the people and all. And I do know if we go and ask, you know, some people for donations, you know, and remind them they'll, you know, give donations or something like that. You know, I know some people who do, you know, but I do too. I help because I'm very close to the main lady that go out to take care of the cemetery. There's a man that go with her too, and I tell her all the time, whenever something is needed, just call me and I do what I can. I say, if I can't give you exactly what you need, I can give you some of it, and then the next person you go to, because different people do give donations to those people that actually go out and clean that cemetery.
Yes, ma'am. We all got a part.
I know the persons, you know, that do that, and I tell her all the time, I say, when you need something, and I give something every year, a donation, for them to go and, you know, cut the grass and do things like that.
Ms. Hawkins, I want to thank you for what you're doing.
Years back, this man that used to do it, he's dead now, but it's a lady and another man that go out there together. And I'm sure some of the families that rip plots out there, they'll go and tend to those graves of their people, you know, that's out there. But some of them are really grown up horrible, though.
Yeah, that's what my concern is that, because I know the state of Mississippi, they got their Blues Trails markers. I know they got one in Natchez. And I know Natchez, Mississippi is also a hot point for civil rights movement history as well. And so the state is trying to make all this money off of black folks' history. They don't want to help out black people, you know, issues. I mean, in terms of the upkeep of the Watkins Street Cemetery. They should pay for that. It shouldn't come from you. But at the same time, I love your spirit. Because you said we're a community. We got to step up and everybody play their part.
That's it.
Village. But I wish that the state would try to do something to help y'all out, to compensate. I mean, because those people have never been properly memorialized.
Yeah, that's right.
The cemetery is the only proof that something terrible happened that night, and it should never be forgotten about.
They should not. That's true. And I tell you what, I know the lady that's out there. You know, they go, and I tell her all the time, if you need something, call me. I say, if I don't have the exact amount, I have something to give you. Maybe you can go to the next person.
Yes, ma'am.
I do that every year because my relatives are buried out there. I got my mother, my daddy, and the lot, my grandparents, my aunt. I got a family that's buried out there.
So you got a plot out there too as well?
I got a plot. Okay. Yeah, I got a plot. They in a plot. Most of them is in there together. That's my mother is one place, my dad is in another, but they are in a plot. And I give a donation every year. And I tell this lady that's working, I say, if you need something, call me. Or come by. Most times she'll come. And when she comes, but there's some other people, not just me now, that have lots out there. They give, donations and things, and they see that their lots are kept clean. And there are some, it's horrible, to see them.
Yes, ma'am.
How they look. They bury the loved ones. They cry, jump and holler and faint and everything at the funeral. Then after they get through with them, they don't think about they got to get the grass cut.
That's right.
And they know somebody's out there cleaning it up, and the person that's doing it, they not getting no salary.
Right.
They doing it. They're not hired to do it,
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sure some of them got people who go out there and cut the grass and keep some of the graves open. I didn't mean open, but grassless.
Right, yes, ma'am.
Grassless. That's true. But I sure do it, and I tell this lady, I say, now, if you're short of something, you come to me. Because I got 2 different plots out there. My grandmother is buried one place. My mama is buried some other place. Like that. But it's all in one lot, not like me. We have a lot, 2 lots out there. And that's where my folks are buried. In those lots that we paid for years ago when Mr. A.L.L. White and all was out there. So then I know where it is, and I keep it clean. And then some people just go out there and work. That's part of it. Miss Thelma White is one of them. Oh, and Lord, this other lady as well as I know. I'm up in age, as I told you, and I don't think things don't come to me like they used to.
Oh, you're fine. Yes, ma'am.
I taught school 36 years.
Oh, that's a blessing.
You see?
No, they do. Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm old now. I'll be 92 years old in November.
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't want to talk about that either. But, talking in a conversation, different things will come up, too.
Oh, that's fine.
Like that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's true. So,
I think that's a lot of people don't know how to talk to each other no more. That's the problem right now with society. A lot of people don't know how to listen and talk to each other.
I didn't understand that.
I said what's wrong with society right now, that people don't know how to listen anymore or talk to people.
That's true. No, they don't. But you must know how to approach a person in your talking. If you kind of upset and disturbed or angry with somebody, go in a nice way.
Right.
You get things so much better.
Yes, ma'am.
Just don't go. However your condition is, if you're all hot with them, be calm, cool, and collective and go to that person. And don't be hollering. It's a way to approach anybody. And then you can get things solved. And so many are not like that. But I know these people, they go, and I tell the lady, it's a lady and a man, they take care of those lots of different people, Pam, I'm sure. But they keep it up. And then they get different donations and things like that. But it's in the city, and I don't see why the city won't take it over, but I don't know.
Well, I'll talk to Daryl White about that.
I'm
going to talk to Daryl White on my show, along with some other people. I'm going to ask him that question that he just asked me.
Daryl White?
Yeah, he's over the...
I know him. I know he is. Yeah, I know he's out there. I know Daryl White, Miss Thelma White. Thelma and I, we were classmates.
You said you taught... You taught Monroe Sago, or Sago, that's his name?
Sago.
Yeah, you taught him in the 4th grade, right?
Yeah, I taught Sego in the 4th grade.
Okay.
How do you know?
Well, you just told me that. You told me that in a conversation. I was listening.
What?
I was listening to you. You told me that earlier because I said I talked to him last week.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
oh,
ma'am.
That's right. You said you talked, and I said, I told Sego. Yeah, I knew. I told Sego in the 4th grade.
Yes, ma'am.
You related to him? Monroe Sego?
Oh, I just don't. I'm not related to Sego. I just found out about his museum he did for the nightclub fire that, he did a museum.
He's a nice person.
Yeah, I just tried to.
And I'm proud of him. He made a young man out of himself. I taught him in the 4th grade at Susby West.
Okay, so he's a native. I'm glad to hear that.
Huh?
I'm glad he's a native and he's a person of color that's trying to do the right thing by the people.
Yes. He is nice as he can be. A nice place. He cleans my car when I have it washed and clean. Sego does that for me.
That's a blessing.
He's a nice, and he was a nice young person. He was mischievous at times, but he listened.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had others. I just mentioned it because you brought his name up, But I have others that was nice too, in class.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm so proud of him. When you've taught children back in the years, and then you see how they've grown up to be a man, have a family, and doing something for himself or herself. It makes you feel good. And I'm real proud of him. He takes care of my car all the time. Whenever I get rid, all I have to do is call him. Then come get the car, take it and clean it up. He does a beautiful job on cars. Yes, he certainly does. Monroe Sego. And he was a nice student in class, too. Yeah, so he'd talk and get, like other children, like I did when I was young in school,
Yes, ma'am.
But some of them don't want to listen to you nowadays. The children are kind of different than what they were years.
I mean, a lot of people are afraid to talk to them. They like signs or something.
You know it, too?
they scare everybody, but it should be like that, though.
Okay.
It should be like that.
It's changed now. That's the children back in those years when I was teaching, they had more respect for the elderly people that they were under. They talking, but they tell me now the way these are something else.
But they knew about this type of history that you was a part of. You are living history. You're a beautiful person. But they know, you are a beautiful person. You live in history, and you're a beautiful person. If they knew about the Natchez fire that happened to you that night on 1940, on April 23rd, 1940, our kids don't know about themselves. They don't know the identity of who they are, where they come from.
That's right.
They don't know about the history of where they come. They should be proud of who we are. They don't know how to be proud. And they try to find pride and love in the wrong things.
That's right. Now, who am I talking to?
I'm Ron Hurd, We All Be News out of Memphis.
Wait, what you?
Ron Hurd, I represent We All Be News, a news agency.
Wait, talk it slow now. What you say, Ron?
Yes, ma'am, Ron. Ron Hurd, like a herd of cattle.
Wait. How you spell it, Ron? R-O-H-A-N?
Oh, it's R-O-N, Ron, and then my last name.
Wait a minute. Take a second. R-O what?
N. Ron.
R-O-N.
And my last name is Hurd, is H-E. Yes, ma'am. E-R. H-E-R. D. Yes, ma'am.
H-E-R.
D.
H-E-R-D.
Yes, ma'am.
Hurd. And what did you say about that, Ron? I didn't get that one.
My name is Ron Hurd, and I'm a news journalist.
You are urban?
No, I'm not an urban. No, ma'am. I'm a news person. I'm a news journalist.
You say a news. I don't hear too well, and I lost my hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Go back and get another one. That's why I'm asking so much.
Oh, you all right? You okay? I do news. I report news. I do radio and TV. Oh,
you're a newspaper. You only be on TV?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in Memphis, though. Right now, in Memphis. Hopefully in the world.
What's that Memphis station?
It's on. It's public access. It's Channel 17 of Comcast.
Huh?
Comcast Channel 17.
17?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that 17 on all TVs? Would it be? Or
Not
check that.
No, man, I'm a local person. It's on this local TV right now.
On 17.
Yes, ma'am. But I'll tell you what, I'll send you something after I do my show. I'll send you. You got a CD player or anything like that?
Do I do what?
You have a CD player, a CD player?
Oh yeah, I have. I got a CD. What I got? I got a TV, and I can play my records on that TV.
Okay, well, I'm gonna send you a copy of the show that I do this week.
Let's see. That's right, I sure do. I got the TV, and I got another kind of machine that I can play. You know, these little records. It looks like a record, some small.
Yeah, CD.
Small records you can put in on your.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send you a copy of the show I do. You know, with you on it, so you have. I'll send you a copy of this show that I'm gonna do about the nightclub fight.
Okay.
And you'll be on it. Actually, I want to thank you again for taking the time to talk to me.
Okay,
and,
so your name is Mr. Hood, H-O-R-D, you say?
It's like an E, not a U. It's a H-E-R-D. Heard. Yes, heard.
Oh, H-E-R-D. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And you a former Natchez person?
Ma'am?
Are you formerly from Natchez?
No, ma'am. I'm from Memphis. I'm in Memphis.
From Memphis?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Have you been, how often have you been to Natchez?
I've never been. I've been to New Orleans, but next time I go down to New Orleans, they should stop by Natchez first.
Do you have any, you know, they say old people always ask a lot of questions.
That's all right. It's good.
Do you have any relatives here?
Not to my knowledge. I got people that come from Senatobia and Como, from northern Mississippi, like Senatobia and Como, and that area, like Taylor's and Webbs. Nobody
in Natchez. You don't have no relatives in Natchez?
My knowledge. No, ma'am. Not to my knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Well, how you got my name?
I went to the white pages. I went on the internet. I got your name on the internet.
You went on the internet and found me?
Yes, ma'am. The white pages online.
Well, how you do that?
I mean, you just type in the whitepages.com and I type in your name and, you know, Natchez, Mississippi, and they gave me your listed address and your listed phone number.
Well, what do you know about that?
Hey, you live long enough, you see some things.
Well, what do you know? The longer you live, those things, if I had died this morning, I wouldn't have found that out.
Yes,
you just went on the internet.
Yes, ma'am.
And found my name.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what you had? Saw my name in the paper where I had been in the file.
I saw your name in the paper online. I did some research on the internet. The internet is so useful. I don't know if y'all would have done. Y'all probably done a lot of great things. Y'all had the internet back in the day. But yeah, I had found information you talking about the fire in newspaper articles and everything online.
And you saw my name?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you know? Well, dude, I am this old lady. I'm old. I told you I'm 91. I'll be 92 in November, but I'm still active and everything. Well, dude. Internet. Have you been in Natchez before?
No, ma'am, but I plan on going. I'm going to look you up. I might come for your 92nd birthday. I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll definitely look you up.
I'll be 92 in November.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And do you have any relatives here?
Not to my knowledge. No, ma'am, I don't know any.
You don't? Yes, indeed. Well, that's nice. But you saw that in the paper where I was in the file, whatever the internet, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
But you get some of everything, can't you?
Yes, ma'am. It was amazing. Like you guys, like what you say, seeking you shall find, right?
Yes, sir. I tell you. Have you been to Natchez before?
No, ma'am. I haven't been yet.
Oh, yeah. And you don't have any relatives here?
No, ma'am.
I'm
just Hawkins. I always thank you once again for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it. I'm actually just do it. Do you remember the songs that Walter Barnes were playing that night?
No, I sure don't. I don't remember. But I remembered one, but it has gone from me. But if it comes back, I don't know. I had that paper with, I don't know if I gave it to somebody or not with the resume file. It might come to me, but anyway.
I'm just talking. You said, yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't remember.
Oh, that's
you
right.
say you are Hurd, H-E-R-D.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your last name?
That's my last name.
What's your first name?
It's Ron.
Huh?
Ron.
Ron. R-O-H-N?
That's not like R-O-N, like Ronald.
R-O-N.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, your first name is R-O-N, Ron.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Ron Hood. And you,
yes, ma'am.
You haven't ever been to Natchez, huh?
I've never been, but I look forward to talking to you in person one day soon in Natchez.
Oh, yeah, I see. And you don't have any relatives here in Natchez?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Ms. Hawkins, I'd like to thank you once again for taking the time to talk to me. I'm about to get ready to go, but thank you once again. I look forward to staying in touch with you. You have a blessed day.
All right, and same to you, Mr. Ron.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.